We're still at the NEC in Birmingham, and I couldn't go past this without making some comments. It's not actually British, this, is it?
No, this is manufactured in Turkey. My name's John. I'm from Vestel Mobility.
Okay, and you're a technical guy.
Yeah, I'm the Mobility After Sales and Technical Support Manager here in the UK. So Vestel is approximately 45 years old. It's a domestic appliance manufacturer.
Okay, so we're talking what?
So you've got things like Toshiba TVs, Bush washing machines.
So in Turkey, you make Toshiba machines?
Yeah, so we've got a brand license for Toshiba TVs. So we manufacture TVs under the Toshiba brand.
Yeah.
But we also make many domestic appliances like white goods, washing machines, fridges, dishwashers for other companies that use their brand.
Not your name.
And not our name. So it's our product manufactured in our factories.
So we're using it, but it's just
if you
nobody recognises you.
Yeah, you go to many high street retailers and buy an appliance from there.
Yeah.
There's a guarantee that most of them, apart from the big brands, would have been made by Vestel in Manisa in Turkey.
So it's no longer made in China?
No.
Or Japan?
No.
It's now mostly made in Turkey.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so this is obviously an EV charger. So, when did you get into EV charging?
It's about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
That we started to move the production, the research and development to EV charging to sort of stay with the times, you know.
Yeah.
We've got the capabilities of large-scale manufacturing. And
someone told me you can actually compete with the Chinese in terms of size.
We can, yeah. Our AC production line can produce 700,000 units a year.
I don't know how many they make, but that sounds a lot.
It is.
And the people who use them, they badge them themselves?
Yes, correct.
So what sort of companies?
You've got some major energy players in the UK.
Yeah.
BP, Eon Drive.
So these people who claim these are BP chargers, they're actually Vestel chargers.
They've been made by Vestel with
no badges on.
Yeah, they've got BP's badge on there, but it's been more of a collaboration, and that's a key thing that Vestel are looking at, is collaborating with people to produce a good product at a reasonable price that the end user is happy to use.
And you're here today under your own name.
Yes.
So nobody's heard of you.
No.
But you're here under your own name. Is this a sort of strategy for the future? You want to be known as Vestel?
So we've produced a hell of a lot of products over the years for everyone else. Yeah. And it's, why not use our product, but as a Vestel product, and get everyone using Vestel instead of somebody else's name.
So are you going to turn down BP when they say we want some more of our badge products, but you're going to have to buy ours?
Not necessarily turn it down, but they've moved into a different direction now.
Yeah.
They're not, some of the markets they're not staying in there. They've decided they want to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And the products that we produce are different to theirs. The technology is very similar, but they look very different.
Right.
So it also gives the end users a bit more choice. And I know there is a lot of choice.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's a reliable product at a reasonable price.
So you deal with both AC charging and DC charging?
Yeah. So AC runs from 7 kilowatts right up to 44 kilowatt AC. Yeah. And then the DC starts at 40 kilowatt right up to 1 megawatt.
1 megawatt.
Yes.
Now, I did a video recently which said that BYD were one of the first with a 1 megawatt charger in China.
Yeah, that is correct, they are.
They were just ahead of you?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, just beat you to it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, but seriously, in fact, there's one here, isn't there? There's a 1 megawatt.
So we have a dispenser for it. There's 720 kilowatt there.
That's a 720?
Yeah, but we have got an MCS version of that ready for the 1 megawatt.
So the MCS is for buses and lorries?
Basically, yes.
And that's a new standard, like the equivalent of CCS?
Yes.
So this is specifically, and buses you can charge it over 1 megawatt, I believe.
Yeah, it depends obviously on the vehicle and the technology in the vehicle. Yeah. But the charge point is ready for when the vehicles are ready.
So as the vehicles get faster and faster for charging, you're already there.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Okay, and AC charging, you're not down at the domestic level. Do you supply domestic chargers?
We do offer 7 kilowatts for people to use at home. There's a few different ranges we have. We have our Libra product, Quattro. For instance, the Libra is available in Medlocks.
Okay. So that's one side of it. So the AC side, public charging is another side.
Yep.
The CCS side of it, is another side, and the MCS
is another
side. This is all EV charging.
Yeah, we're looking to collaborate with people, CPOs, bus depots, truck depots, you know, anyone that really wants to give it a go.
Anyone's got a bus needs to go electric, they need to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay, so it's quite amazing that as the chargers get more powerful, they get smaller. So, but
that's
I'm assuming
that's the satellite system.
I'm assuming there's a big box behind it.
That's correct, yeah.
So the more you put in here, the less you have out there.
Exactly,
and the more you have out there, the less
you put in there,
okay. So these are CCS2 ready at 720 kilowatts.
Yes.
And there's no cars get anywhere near that. I think we're up about 385 is about the maximum we can get at the moment. So these are way future-proof, aren't they?
Yeah, so that allows, so it's 720 kilowatts, but obviously you can have 8 points on that. So it'd be 4 dispensers with 1 power unit.
Okay.
So you can have cars charging, and depending on the amount, it will split that load between all the cars.
So the box behind the scenes is the 720 bit.
Yes.
This is only the dispenser side of it.
It's a dispenser, basically. It'll only give the car what the car asks for.
Yeah, so you could put maybe 3 or 4 of these.
So for 1 power unit, you can have 4 dispensers.
So that would give you 8 points.
Yes.
That's like an installation in itself, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Right, so why are we in a Union Jack here?
Because we're here in the UK.
That's a good answer.
Then that's the reason.
Yeah.
It's just it's a bit of, not a gimmick, but it's just to highlight, you know, we are a Turkish manufacturer, but we're here in the UK.
Yeah.
And it stands out, and so many people today have commented on it.
Here.
Why is that there? Yeah.
That's it. I notice an awful lot of chargers these days are going for the much bigger screens. And this would allow things like advertising.
Yeah, so these are touchscreen.
Yeah.
Obviously, the larger screen is for advertising.
Yeah.
The smaller ones, they can have small amount of advertising, but not as...
Just to make it easy.
Yeah, but it's just a large screen and it's split. This is just rolling through a cycle of what you would see in the event if you were charging.
And this fits in with the Motability if someone's impaired sight.
Yeah, so obviously the heights of that, the buttons here are for accessibility as well.
Contactless and contactless, yeah. So very much thinking for that. So you're looking here, 400 is going to become standard. By a lot of the people we've been looking at, they're all heading towards 400 now, as that's the starting point. Yeah. And then going up from that as the technology advances. So where do you see all this going in the next 6 or 12 months?
In that direction.
Right.
We've seen more and more people now, because this started at 160 kilowatts.
Okay.
And now more people are saying, oh, can we look at the 400 kilowatt?
So you just change a bit inside.
So basically the cabinet's the same, but it's the modules inside increase. Yeah. But when you get up to 400 kilowatt, we start looking at liquid cooled cables.
Yes.
So it just starts to change a little bit. But because the car manufacturers are moving forward, you know, they can take more.
Yes.
We need to be able to give them more.
Yes.
And everyone wants to just splash and dash, don't they?
Fast as possible. Yeah. Because I was down in Cornwall and we were looking at the latest MG, the IM5, and it's got the new silicon carbon batteries in it, and they charge about 50% faster than the lithium ion. So the first of the cars that are charging faster, that one does 10 to 80% charge in 9 minutes.
Yep.
So that's going to need more than 350.
Exactly, yeah.
That's going to be off 400 or 500 kilowatts.
But
that's here now.
But what we also need to be wary of is users.
Yeah.
Not understanding that their car can't do that.
Yeah.
The sign says 720 kilowatt, but your car can't do it yet.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of an education there for end users to
big
say,
education.
Yeah, it's just, you know, they plug into an AC and think, well, why is it taking so long? When I plugged in the services, it's done in 10 minutes. Yeah. It doesn't work that way, and it's that knowledge that on the side of not only bringing out new products, we're trying to educate people to understand that, you know, take a bit of time, look at your car, just learn a little bit, not much. You don't need to be an expert, but just know that your car can only do so much.
I know I was down in the GridServe hub down in Braintree, and they got the 350 kilowatt chargers there. And there's a lady with, I think she had an MG, and she wouldn't plug into one because she feared it might blow up her car, and she plugged into a 50 kilowatt to be safe. Yeah. And you know, you talk to them and you sort of say, no, it's a bit like your home electricity. You've got 240 volts going around the house, you can plug in a phone charger or a 3 kilowatt kettle. And they sort each other out, don't they?
Exactly.
It doesn't blow up. And cars are exactly the same. So for any viewers out there have any worries about this technology getting too fast, whatever you plug in here will decide what it lets out. Yeah.
Yep.
So if your car can only, if you've got a Renault 5 and you can only charge at 90 kilowatts, this will only ever release no more than 90, and you probably never get 90 out of it, will you? They typically charge about 70 or 80. So just a reassurance for any of the viewers, if you have an EV and it's capable of plugging in CCS2, you can plug into any charger and it's safe and it'll look after itself.
That's it.
They don't catch fire. Okay. So how are things going for you at the moment? You're coming in under your own name.
Yeah, so things are good this year. The end of the year is exciting. We've got our first megawatt charger being installed.
Okay, where's that going in?
It's in Scotland at a logistics depot.
This is in a bus depot?
No, it's a truck depot.
A truck depot?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where they're going to start coming in. But they're going to be running alongside CCS2 as well, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
I think a lot of these megawatts also have a CCS2 charger.
So our dispenser will have the two charging ports on it, a megawatt, MCS, and the CCS.
Because the lorries are the same. They can't all take a megawatt.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
And some of the vans, for example, definitely can't.
Yeah. So the depot is geared up that the truck, be it megawatt or CCS,
whatever the truck has, you can
pull up
fill
and
it.
Charge at that point. Yeah.
Okay. And you're doing this around the country. You're talking. Your emphasis at the moment is on the MCS. Is it on the
DC charging is the emphasis for us at the moment, but also we've got our AC products as well.
Right. So you're not worried whether it's lorries or cars. You're happy to supply chargers.
Yeah. That's it.
So we're going to start seeing your name round and about, are we?
That's the plan. Yeah.
That's going well. Okay, we've been standing in front of this, but I noticed behind you, you've got something interesting there. It says C&I liquid cooling battery solution. Is that a battery?
It is a battery storage solution.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So,
I'm assuming it's not plugged in.
Not plugged in, no. It's safe to look in. Yes.
Okay. Right, so can you run me through this?
Yeah,
then?
so part of our offering is we offer battery storage solutions for residential. 5
so
kilowatts.
This is a small one for a house, yeah?
Yeah, 5 kilowatts right up to 5 megawatts.
Okay.
This one here, for instance, is 418 kilowatts.
That's big.
Yes.
Because I was saying earlier on about Renault charging at about 80 kilowatts, and they have about a 40 or 50 kilowatt hour battery.
Yeah.
So that would run about a dozen of these charging up Renault 5s.
It would, yeah.
So that could supply a lot of power to...
So our idea is that on sites where power might be a problem,
you get variable or cuts.
Rather than look at the cost of increasing the supply through the DNO, which
could be unreliable in itself,
and also very expensive.
Yes.
Put a battery storage solution in there and utilise that. Charge the batteries up when the site's not in use. Deploy that when you need to.
Yes.
And keep that cycle going.
Yeah. Yes. It's a fascinating world where we're going because batteries 2 or 3 years ago just didn't exist, did they?
Yeah,
Not in any numbers. And yet today we're talking about just a cabinet and it's going to run chargers in case of power cuts and all sorts.
Yeah, but for solar generation sites, our largest offering is 5 megawatts, which is like a shipping container size, full of battery cells.
And these are all coming on the market. I know they're starting to do what they call grid controlling or grid regulating batteries now.
So all the solutions are available from Vestel.
So you've got that built in if customers need that.
Yeah.
It's such a changing world, isn't it? How do you keep up?
We've got a great research and development team,
right?
A great design team, and a real good big collaboration between us.
So everyone talks all the time.
Yes, yeah.
Because I was talking to someone earlier and we were talking about the changing technology. I did a video 6 months ago about a topic and it's now on the market. And you're thinking, that was amazing. It was a concept 6 months ago, a new battery chemistry, and it's now on the market. Yeah. And that pace of change is something that must frighten you because...
Unfortunately, we've got to keep up with the times.
You do,
policy changes, it's everyone collaborating and working together.
So as long as everyone knows what's going on, you can keep up. keep pace with it.
Yeah.
Right, John, we've taken up more than enough of your time. It's fantastic to look at what's going on here, and we're going to look out now for your chargers.
Brilliant.
So if you want to let us know when you're installing one of these, give us a shout. We'll give you a card with the email on it. We'd love to hear and see it actually going in.
Okay.
But otherwise, thanks very much
Thank
for your
you.
time. A great pleasure meeting you.
Andrew.
Thanks, John.